A very good afternoon to everybody. My name is Suma Ravindra, and I am a mechanical engineer with more than 2 decades of work experience. I've been working in various industries in the manufacturing sector, mainly in the male-dominated industries. And most of the time, I'm the first one or only one in my category. Currently, I'm working as engineering manager at Herman Furniture India Private Limited. I've been spearheading R&D initiatives, technology transfers, design, testing, validation, and process improvement. I am a very strong advocate for women in tech. When I say tech, it's more of manufacturing and mechanical industry related tech. The diverse experiences across industries have enriched me with a range of personal and professional experiences that I now try to weave into my work as a mentor and coach to develop strong leaders. I have facilitated workshops to develop women leaders, enabling them to work through the unique challenges they face. I am also a mentor for JobsForHer. As a mother of 2 young girls and a wife to an amazingly supportive husband, I strongly believe in living life to the fullest. And I am a very, very strong believer of science and nature. And according to me, nothing is impossible. And all it takes is our own self to be what we want to become. Yeah, so maybe I'll just take up the first question. Akshata Naik, she asks, as a woman, our decisions are constantly undermined. How do we establish ourselves as a leader in decision maker? One thing, Akshata, I don't know a lot about you and your background, but one thing definitely I would say is we have to be absolutely confident that the decisions can go wrong sometimes. It's not that when I say confidence, we are not saying that every time we are going to be right. I think there are two aspects of it in a decision making. One is we need to have faith in ourselves and our ability before making a decision. And the other thing is, even if the decision goes wrong, and most of the time it happens, when it goes wrong, we still have to have the confidence that we will rectify the problems, whatever it comes. So I think these two things will make us really, really confident in whatever decisions we make. And especially if the outcome of that decision is very important for you, we need to be accountable first thing of that outcome, and also that we would have done a thorough research before even taking any decision. So I would rely on my ability to research, and also the faith in myself that whatever is the outcome of that decision, I am prepared. So I think these two will really help us in becoming more and more confident. And of course, the experiences and the decisions going wrong is all part of the life. And I think we will, over a period of time, we will take probably better decisions. There's another question. Divya Rajaganeshan asks, an informed decision boosts your confidence naturally. What steps should I take to make sure that my decisions are well informed? Divya, as I've been saying, whenever the question itself has the answer, I would say an informed decision is basically we know that we would have done a thorough research on that particular problem or whatever we are facing. So when we say informed, we are actually researching. We know exactly what is the problem in hand and what could be possible outcomes of that decision. So whatever decision, sometimes the decision could be an yes or a no. Yes is, when you say yes for something, you know the outcome of that and you are prepared for it. The worst thing something can happen is a no, which probably if you're not prepared for that, then we also have to think about it. We really have to be prepared for both the outcomes. We can't really have a wishful thinking and always hope that we will always be right. So it rarely happens that everything will not go according to our wish. But an informed decision means that you have thought about that. You have thought really about what can go wrong in that decision, and you are prepared for it. So that's how you naturally enhance your confidence. Priyanka asks, hi Suma, what if the decision made is wrong? Confidence level falls again, and how does one recover from that? It's definitely a very, very good question. And it is Priyanka, you can be rest assured that this is very common across many people. All of us have done taken wrong decisions. Yeah, so as I said, we have to be really prepared for both the outcomes of any decision. So when you are prepared for the negative outcome, wherein you don't want that to happen, but it has already happened, you should have, or I should have thought about that can happen. And we should always have faith in ourselves that if that happens, I can handle that outcome. So when that happens, you don't really have to lose your confidence. You know that things can go wrong, and you're prepared for it. And that's how we have to recover, because we still have to move on. So more and more experiences like that, and especially a decision which is going wrong, those kind of experience probably will make you more confident if you actually think about it, because we are not always in that wishful thinking that I keep hoping that always good outcomes will happen, and probably the learning will also be very limited in those cases. We got just lucky, and then we are not probably prepared to handle the repercussions. But when we have taken lots of probably wrong decisions, our confidence level should actually go up, because you are now prepared better for the future. That's how I would consider that. I'll go back to the first question, when Akshita's question, where she says that our decisions are constantly undermined. And the interesting point is, she says, as a woman, I don't think the decision making is gender based. As a man or a woman, I think both of us, or any other gender, the decision making is a gender neutral process. I would say that things can go wrong if you're not prepared well, if you have not researched enough, and if you're not confident about those decisions. It need not be a woman or a man. Of course, as a woman, we go through a lot more things probably. Maybe that's why the word woman is mentioned. But in general, if I have to speak about decision making, it's gender neutral. So I mean, all of us as leaders and as managers, we go through this, and that's a constant struggle. And more experiences in our life will make us more and more confident. Yeah, and one other thing probably I would like to mention, probably for the benefit of everybody who's listening, the research. I've been talking a lot about research, we also have to keep in mind that we may not have too much time every time we are taking a decision. We don't have probably so much time to do research. So the best thing is probably discussing with people whom you trust, whom you believe in, that can help you take better decisions. Vandana is asking, what are some of the important decisions any woman on a career break needs to make before getting back into the workforce? So Vandana, one thing I think I would definitely like to talk about is the most important decision is whether you want to come back to workforce. That itself is a very, very big decision. I understand the juggling between the personal life and the career. So we really, because in both of these have pros and cons. So when I say pros and cons, a woman who has taken a break in her career has a very strong reason to take that break. That's the first thing. And if you are thinking of coming back to workforce, the reasoning behind that have to be very strong. It cannot be just a hope or a wish that I can do both kind of thing. There are some pros and cons which we have to think about it and be prepared for it. So in my own life, if I have to share about it, I have two daughters, and I took 1 year break when my first daughter was born, and I was absolutely comfortable taking that break, and it was a very thought about decision, and I never regret about that. And then when I thought of coming back to workforce, that also was a very, very thought about decision, that I really needed to come back to workforce. And the cons of that is probably I may not have so much time to spend with my daughter. The what if kind of doubts in my mind, and I probably if I have to look back, think back, it's quite a while that I have that. But if I vaguely remember, I was prepared for it without probably any guilt. I actually came back, joined the workforce, and I decided to make the most out of my time when I am with my daughter. So there are certain things, changes which we have to make in our life to make sure that we are really prepared. So I think these are some of the things which probably we'll have to uh, take before even making that decision. There's one question from Saradindu. In the corporate world, people expect you to make all the decisions, but do not stand by when things go wrong. How do we respond in such situations? Again, a very, very important question. Corporate world is, I've been in the corporate world for the last probably 23 years now. And of course, there are lots of expectations from different people. But I think when it comes to decision making, we have to own that. We are accountable for that decision, whether people stand by that or they don't. It's their wish. But as a person, it's my decision to do what I want to do. And so that's how I would respond. So I would not hold somebody else accountable for that because it's my decision to stay in that world or to do something else, maybe entrepreneurship or something else. It's again, everything is my decision. And I'm very, very confident about those decisions. And that's how I respond to those kind of situations. Jamuna asks, so this is always a problem I have faced. I always know what I need to do in order to move ahead in my career path, but I am never able to see my decisions through. I leave things undone halfway when I face challenges in the path. How do I change this? Jamuna, I think you are very, very aware of what the problem is. So that itself is a great thing. Sometimes most of the others, probably they don't even know what their problem is. And here, identifying that problem itself is a great observation. So hats off to you that you're able to know that what is the problem with some of the things what you're doing. So I think it just needs a course correction. When you know that you leave things undone halfway when you face challenges, I think that's where you need more resilience, I would say. So now you know the problem. So I think everything starts with small steps. So make a very conscious effort to do a little bit of change in the way you do things. Maybe a post-it note in front of you, put reminders to make sure that you don't do this way, and discuss with people whom you trust so that they can help you boost your morale also. Yeah. So there's one more question. Rashmi asks, as a woman on a career break, my family has always been my priority. Now I'm finding it hard to take decisions with having to make place for my career as well. How do I deal with the guilt when this happens and also learn how to prioritize? Yeah, Shweta, you are not alone in this whole path. Most of us have gone through that. Occasional guilt do come, but I think it ultimately depends on what you really want. So maybe what I would suggest is make a list of things which in both pros and cons for both of them. Like one is you continue your career break, or if you join the workforce, what are some of the pros and cons, and then evaluate, analyze what's really important for you. And you can't have a perfect ideal world where everything goes according to what we need. That never happens, and we should not even hope for that, I think, because that will become probably a heaven. So that is rare, or not possible. So I wouldn't advise anybody to keep that in mind and move forward. I would always suggest that you should know that things may not go as per your wish, and you're prepared for that. So and as a woman on career break or as a woman on in the workforce, family will always be priority. I mean, I wouldn't say that people who take a break, only for them, family is priority. So family is a priority for almost all of us. So so don't be under the impression that when you are choosing a career, you are ignoring the family. It's not like that. So when you're deciding to choose a career, that means that you are keeping few things in mind, that why do you want to really come back to career, I mean workforce. What is that underlying things? Probably you want to contribute to the society, you want to feel valued, or probably you want to give better future for your family. So whatever could be the reason, the reasoning has to be, if you have to come back to workforce, because you can't come back to workforce with half mind, and then keep complaining about that how you're missing your family. I would always advise that, okay, when you are joining a workforce, it's always that you're not going to spend enough the same amount of time with your loved ones when you are on a career break. So that is a given. So you can't be in both the places at once. So there are few things which you will have to make. So have a good support system, involve people, rely on somebody trustworthy, make adjustments, lot of things, delegate, outsource few things. Don't compromise on the time which you get with your family after you go back from work. So there are many things which we have done. I'm sure almost all working women have done that in their life. I myself have done that. So I know it's not so bad. Actually, coming back to workforce is not really bad. I am a very, very strong advocate for people to join workforce, because there's so much talent, there are so many things you all can do, and I really wish everybody can contribute. I mean, the company or the corporate world needs 50% women. So I would definitely advise everybody to join back. But if you are very, very sure about continuing the break, please go ahead. Don't yield to any pressure. Don't worry about what people in your community or in your neighborhood does. I mean, what worked for me may not work for you, or what works for you may not work for me. So don't have that guilt thing that, okay, you have to join work because I have to. There is nothing like that. You have to be very, very clear, be mentally prepared, and then join. So that you have also thought about your how do you manage the guilt, and how do you prioritize. So all of that will come. So just give it a try. See how it goes. Talk to people, make arrangements, and then finally decide whether you really want to continue that. Things will become easier, because most of the times we hold back ourselves, hoping that things are going to become bad, and you are probably all these negative things will come into our mind. A lot of assumptions, a lot of negative vibes will be going on in your mind. But actually, when you start doing that, maybe things are not so bad as you actually thought about it. Okay, Divya asks, how do I convince my support team about my decision? I'm not great with communication skills. I think, Divya, if you are convinced about your decision, you have to be 100% convinced about the decision what you're taking. When you say support team, I would assume that they are people whom you can trust, and people whom you believe they are with you, they will support you, kind of thing. So I'm assuming that they are your support team. So it shouldn't be difficult, because you're not going to convince somebody whom you possibly don't bother about. You are actually talking to your own people, and it doesn't matter how you communicate. I mean, the communication skill or how you speak to them, but as long as you're very assertive about the decisions which you're going to take, and you probably have reasoning behind that. That itself, I think, will be a great thing. So, and then you involve them in the discussion, or even the decision making process itself. You can actually have conversations about, this is what I'm thinking, what do you suggest, or am I missing something, how do I deal with that, would you be supporting me? I mean, there are so many open-ended questions. There are whatever doubts are bothering you, you possibly have to ask. The more and more you communicate, I think communication skill, even though you are saying that you are not great about that, in that, I would still suggest that you have to talk. We have to discuss. If we don't discuss with our own support team, it's going to be difficult. You are going to probably feel sort of alone kind of thing. So your support team is really important, and they should be convinced. So I would suggest that you work on that. Yeah, there are 5 more minutes. So probably what I would do, looking at the time, what we have. So maybe I'll just try to summarize our discussions, and maybe I'll try to say some of the observations I've made so far. Yeah, I think there were one thing which really struck me was that gender neutral decision making is definitely gender neutral. So that's one thing. So it was it's not really necessary that only women have this confusion in terms of decision making. So a lot of men also go through this. So I would suggest that one of the key takeaways is to believe that decision making is a process itself, and it is gender neutral. So that's the first thing. The other thing, I think one of the other observation is people who are on career break and who would like to come back to workforce. There's a lot of doubts going on in their minds about whether that the decision of coming back to workforce itself, is it a good decision. I think that's one of the things which I'm observing. For them, I would, maybe my only suggestion is take the leap of faith. Definitely, if you have thought about it, I think you should just take that plunge. Things are not as bad as you think. There are several women who have been juggling both work and personal life, and they're all doing great. It's not that they are the whole thing is their family is suffering, or it's not like that. I mean, my own life, if I have to summarize, I'm glad that I've been able to be in the workforce. I feel more valued. I'm contributing to the corporate world. I'm also trying to mentor and coach people around me. So it's all, I feel very good, and I feel really confident about that as well. And also, if I look back into my own personal life, my daughters are doing good. I'm able to manage both work and life. So it's not so bad. So I would say that you just get back to workforce. If you have thought about it, you need not be 100% sure about it. Even if you are 80% sure, I would suggest that you get back, and then we'll see how it goes. You see, maybe give some time. Give some time, because you've been on a break, so many things you would have got used to it. But once you get back to workforce, you give some time for yourself. Don't be very hard on yourself. Talk to people, talk to your support them. Lot of things, I would say, just communication is very important. Talk to people. You will have amazing, lovely friends in the workforce to discuss and talk about, because they'll also probably be going through the same dilemma which you are going through. So that also you will learn quite a lot of things. So yeah, I think these are some of the things which I observed. And have confidence. I mean, that's one of the things I would definitely like to end my conversation today. I hope this was useful. I will probably look at some more comments and try to answer via text. If I can be of help to all of you, it would be great. So yeah, and JobsForHer, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to several people. Thank you.